Hey, most people think fiction is escapism, that novels are entertainment, distractions from real life. But I think some novels tell the truth more honestly than reality does. It might not necessarily be factual truth, although sometimes they do in advance. I'll touch on that later. To start with, let's talk about the emotional truth they tell. Sometimes a made-up character can expose something about fear, loneliness, ambition, or love more accurately than a news article ever could, and also maybe tell us something true about the society we live in, or give us a warning about things yet to come. Maybe all this is why human beings have always needed stories. Stories teach us truths, share lived real experiences through the author's voice. Writers often write from their own experiences and emotions. Through fiction, we get a dramatic insight into what it means to be human and to face life's challenges. Hey, my late father never really liked reading novels. He preferred factual books, non-fiction. But I think he was missing out on truth about what humans really experience as they live in this world. And he was also missing out on warnings about the dangers and follies of society. While fiction is just that, fiction, the lessons hopefully learned from societal wrongs and the heartbreak that accompanies it contains blunt and unchallengeable truth, even if the characters are not real. Take, for example, in the category of love, loss and regret, there's this book, The Remains of the Day by Kazu Ishiguro. I probably said it wrong. The story is about an English butler looking back on his life. The truth isn't whether the events happened, but the realization that duty and loyalty can become excuses for avoiding love and vulnerability. And then there's A Man Called Ove by Frederick Backman. Reveals how grief can disguise itself as anger and how human connection can slowly heal isolation. Then there's, under the section of Power and Corruption, The Animal Farm by George Orwell. I'm sure you've heard of that. The talking animals aren't real, but the story exposes enduring truths about power, propaganda, and how noble ideals can be corrupted. And then there's The Lord of the Flies by William Golding. Man, what a story. Explores what happens when social structures disappear and people must confront their own capacity for fear, cruelty, and leadership. And under the Identity and Belonging section, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee shows the truth that moral courage often means standing alone and that children can see injustices adults ignore. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini explores guilt, redemption, friendship, and the way people carry their past with them. And then under the Hope in Difficult Times section, The Road by Cormac McCarthy, set in an imagined post-apocalyptic world, yet it reveals a profound truth about parental love and the human determination to protect what matters. The Book Thief by Marcus Zukak demonstrates how stories, kindness, and friendship retain meaning even amid war and suffering. When people say fiction tells truth, they usually mean that novels can reveal what grief feels like, why people make self-destructive choices, how love changes us, how power affects behaviour, what courage actually costs, what gives life meaning. A history book can tell you what happened. A novel can help you understand what it felt like to be the person living through it. We often think of novels as made-up stories, yet some of the deepest truths we ever learn come from people's experiences, human truths about love, fear, regret, courage, and hope. And then there are novels that warn us about something that actually ends up happening, or looks like it will. Some people call this predictive programming. Some people put this down to human nature being predictable, and so it is easy to project an end point if humans intermix in scenarios put forward by novels. Listen to the examples I list below and tell me what you think. Forward planning by people who know, or just obvious human nature playing out with inevitable consequences? And if you pick the last, why don't we stop these things if they are predictable? Can we? Should we? Will we? Interesting questions, aren't they? So here goes. Under the surveillance and loss of privacy category. 1984 by George Orwell, published in 1949. It warned about mass surveillance, population manipulation of information, political propaganda, and governments shaping public perception. Orwell did not predict modern technology exactly, but many people see parallels with digital surveillance, data collection, and misinformation campaigns. Yeah, scary. Social media and entertainment addiction. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Bradbury imagined people obsessed with wall-sized screens, constant entertainment, shrinking attention spans, and a culture that avoided difficult ideas. Written in 1953, it feels surprisingly relevant in the age of streaming services, smartphones, and algorithm-driven content. And here I am on YouTube. Genetic Engineering. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley, written in 1932. It imagined a society shaped by reproductive technology, genetic selection, psychological conditioning, and mood-altering drugs. While we do not live in Huxley's world, debates about gene editing, designer babies, and pharmaceutical dependence echo some of his concerns. And then there's the nuclear weapons. The World Set Free by H.G. Wells, published in 1914, decades before Hiroshima. Wells described atomic weapons releasing intense energy. The science was not fully correct, but the idea of devastating atomic warfare arrived long before nuclear bombs became reality. And under artificial intelligence, I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. Asimov explored questions that are now central to AI discussions. How much authority should machines have? How can we trust them? How do we align their goals with human values? What's fascinating is that these authors were actually not predicting specific future events. Instead, they were identifying truths about human nature. People often trade freedom for security. Powerful technologies create new ethical problems. Entertainment can distract from important issues. Institutions can become more important than individuals. Humans struggle to control the systems they create. That's why some novels appear prophetic. They understand people so well that when technology changes, the underlying human patterns remain recognizable. Do you agree with this take? Yes and no is my answer. Yes, but I think there is more to it than that. And knowing human nature, we should pause long enough to say, what's happening here? We don't want to go down this track. So novels are great in so many ways, and yes, they do tell truth as well as being escapism and mind challenging. I love them. Tell me your comments. Do you like novels? Do you prefer fiction or non-fiction? And what do you think about all these issues that novels can bring up, such as predictive programming, things that human nature, things that we face in society and how we should grapple with them? What about these ideas? What about the emotions and the things they show us about people and humans? Do you think we benefit from knowing about those things, and we benefit from novels exposing us to human emotion? And what do you think about the thought of AI writing them? Can AI do the same sort of thing? Can AI predict the same? Can AI show us people's emotions and lived experiences the same? Leave your comments below, and I'll see you next week.